Hello everyone, hi, how are you guys doing today? Welcome back to another episode reaction to Buffy the Vampire Slayer. This is Haarute, my name's Matt. Hello, what's up? So, okay, I'm gonna keep it simple, real quick. I don't have a lot of time to record, so I gotta do this right now. Last week, we got an episode where Buffy and Cordelia, they kind of were fighting with each other over the title of Homecoming Queen. I learned about the very problematic roots of the country of Liberia based on American racism. We got the Slayer Fest 98. Yeah, what else is there to say? We broke up with Scott Hope, or he broke up with us. That's completely fine. When I say us, I mean us, the audience, in the shoes of Buffy, not us, the character. I am wasting time now. I need to start the episode. I don't have a lot of time. I don't know what else happened previous week that I should be talking about. Buffy told Angel about her involvement with Scott before immediately that ending, so we'll see where this episode goes. Let us begin. Patreon, check out the link in the description below. Pop up on screen. You can watch the next two episode reactions as well as full-length reactions and just supporting the channel in general. That would be really helpful. Let's go. Buffy the Vampire Slayer season 3 episode 6. Let's go. Oh yeah, the mayor. Forgot about the mayor stuff happening with Trick here.
It's a little out of my element, but I can get you what you need.
What are y'all
doing? I know
doing?
a beast who knows a guy.
This demon requires his tribute. That's what separates me from other politicians, Mr. Trick.
Ooh, I see.
Where to put that scotch?
So, is this mayor just like really into the occult and supernatural shit? I mean, because if you live in a world where that shit is real, which we don't, but they do, then it would make sense for people to be way into that shit. It would make sense to have people that are way into that stuff, and it actually gives them results because it's real. So, okay, so we have a witch doctor mayor.
Actually, I'm looking forward to it. I do well on standardized tests. What? I can't have layers?
A writer wrote this.
You weren't visited by the ghost of Christmas past by any chance.
It's band candy. There's money for the marching band. They need new uniforms. It's candy. Sell it.
This candy's bad. That's my prediction. These chocolate bars are bad.
Pretty sure the best moms let their daughters drive.
And yet? You failed the written test. They wouldn't even let you take the road test.
That was a year ago.
We can...
I don't test well, she said 2 days before the SATs. Giles, Slay study double feature. Could be late.
Again. Honey, don't you think Mr. Giles is monopolizing an awful lot of your time?
And does he ever say he's sorry? Ow.
Sorry.
Why do I put up with this?
Because it is your destiny, and because I just bought 20 Kokorific candy bars.
John does this candy bars.
To test your awareness of an opponent's location.
This is gonna be relevant at the end of this episode. Gonna get him. Yeah, it's gonna bounce to...
Ow.
There we go.
Where are you going? We have to patrol.
I can't. Mom's in hyperdrive. She wants me home tonight. I told you. Enjoy the candy.
I don't trust this candy. It's gonna kill everyone. Also, taking the night off. It means that this is gonna be an interesting night. Are we going to Angel? There we go. Oh, Angel's here. He's doing Tai Chi? My man's doing Tai Chi. I mean, he needs to relax. He's been in hell for like 500 years or whatever.
It's late. How'd you get away?
Lied to
That
people.
was easy. Started a fire in the prison laundry room. Rode out in the garbage truck. I'm joking.
I do appreciate that he believed that for like a little bit.
How is, Scott?
We don't talk about that guy anymore.
He's fine.
Don't want to tell him.
That's...
Not ready to talk about it.
You're being careful, right?
With Scott?
The slang.
Oh.
I worry about you.
Oh.
I worry about you. Yeah, pretty soon you won't even need me.
That'll be better.
Yeah.
You can misinterpret that. He doesn't want to be a burden, but she sees that as him wanting to be away from her. So what did the candy bars do?
Sorry I'm late.
She's
You know,
holding
Giles.
one.
I'll slay all the time.
Oh!
Buffy. You also lied to her about your whereabouts. We were all concerned. Oh, thank you.
Are you at the bronze? What was happening there that was so...
You have to tell him at one
Bronze
point.
things. Things of bronze.
You're acting really immature, Buffy.
He's eating it.
You're both scheduling me 24 hours a day. Between the two of you, that's 48 hours. I just want to be able to make a few decisions on my own.
The last time you made a decision on your own, you split.
Yeah, and I took care.
You can't stop eating it.
I think you should go to bed. We're all tired.
Yeah, but at least most parents have some idea what to protect their children from.
Explain out another one. I mean, it was too obvious, but
You
wait,
don't want to eat that.
that's Ethan? I think that's Ethan. Oh, cool. Cool. I like this. I like seeing Ethan again. I was hoping we would see him again.
I know, these things are selling like hotcakes, which is ironic because the hotcakes really aren't moving.
Intimacy. It's also making like a little heart,
And we're
like an upside down heart, crossing the feet.
The big pinhead librarian didn't show up, and I don't want to do it.
He's eating it too. This means he's also gonna be a victim or something. What did these chocolate bars do? Do you see your mom this morning, Buff? Oh, he's here. Oh, he's here just eating chocolate. That's what he's doing.
not there in study hall, and after you lectured to me on not ducking out, and what is my mother doing here?
Yes. What did the chocolate do?
Take the car, and Mr. Giles can drive me home.
What?
Like, who are you and what did you do with my mom? Like, girl, you should be concerned. You should be fucking worried.
Do you think she noticed anything?
No way.
Okay, so what are we doing? Are they having a relationship of sorts? I hope this is not horny chocolate. That would be nuts. That would be like a Torchwood episode, a horny chocolate episode. Is she fucking squatting? Is he reverting to his old self? Like when he was younger and he was like a bad boy? What the fuck did the chocolate do to y'all? Like, actually, what the fuck? Is this just a bunch of old people? I mean, the chocolate brings out the like youthness or something, makes them want to relive the glory days or whatever. Even Snyder should be here then. He was eating the chocolate. That would be funny to see.
Reunion in town, or a Billy Joel tour or something.
I hope Billy Joel turns up.
Are there any nachos in here, little tree?
What?
Are you sure you don't need some fresh air, Miss Barton?
Y'all high? Are y'all just high? What the fuck?
This place
Yes!
Fun city, huh?
Yes, this is what I wanted to see.
Oh, I am so stoked.
Hell yeah. This is when you start to get worried.
Some foxy ladies here tonight.
Oh lord. Okay, Ethan and Mr. Trick are collaborating. So that's the guy he knew.
It's almost feeding time.
Like, they are reverting as if they were 20. Like, clearly, but like, exactly what is the effect of the chocolate?
Hey, where are we going?
Snyder coming with us?
You guys aren't trying to ditch me, are you?
Snyder's coming up with us! Okay, I love this actually.
Snyder.
No time is coming with us.
Hell yes! I love this. I want him to come with us. You're gonna race cars? Eating chocolate? Man, what the fuck is this episode? I do kind of like that though. I do kind of like an episode where like everyone just goes insane. When some AoE spell effect befalls over the town and everyone is just nuts. Like the Halloween episode. Also an Ethan episode. Every Ethan episode is just gonna fuck the town up.
I mean, even if he's 16, he's still Giles, right? He's probably a pretty together guy.
No.
That's cool. Very juice new.
I do really like this concept though. People who are old kind of reverting. Fuck the store. She's into it.
Hold it.
Give him some chocolate and he'll be fine. Oh girl.
Oh my god, look out!
That hit Snyder. Okay, back here.
Copper's got a gun.
Oh man.
I never use it though, man.
This is America. Oh my god.
Told him he never use it.
He has a gun now. He just kept it.
You are so cool.
Man, she's into that shit. Like when she was younger, what kind of woman was she? Okay, sure, we're doing this now. It's fine. I wouldn't put it past them to just do it right there. Y'all fine? Okay, they're fine. Nobody gives a fuck.
Hey! Hey, give it!
Yes, the chocolate.
Who's behind it?
I don't know. It came to the school board.
And they're just fucking giving that shit away. Yep,
Mom, where did you get that coat?
we stole it.
You want to fight me, or you want to let me talk to my mother? Do you know who I am?
Of course, you're Buffy. Hey, look, they're giving away candy. You want some candy?
Go do something
No,
else.
I don't, and you don't need any more either.
I'm fine. I can have more if I want.
This is a weird
I want
reversal
candy.
situation.
Mom,
You want to slay stuff, and I'm not allowed to do anything about it. Well, this is what I want to do, so get off my back.
This is very direct. I want candy.
Hey, Brickface, wait up!
Okay, he's coming along too. This is like nuts.
Been out there, town's wide open. You guys can go anytime. Might want to hurry.
Oh boy. What are they gonna do? Charles has a gun. He picked up a gun.
The candy's supposed to make you feel all immature and stuff, but I've had a ton and I don't feel any different. Never mind.
Accidental hand holding. I feel bad for Cordelia, if anything. What are the vampires gonna do though? What is the mayor and the vampires gonna do? I'm worried about what Giles might do. He's in Ripper mode now. Man, this is just Metal Gear Rising. This is exactly what this is. I guess it's time for Jack to let it rip. Yep.
Orange steady.
I'd just like to point out that this wasn't my idea.
I got contracted.
What demon?
I don't remember.
Okay, now you're lying.
Loconis, demon name.
Loconis.
Well, they said the tribute was big, so big that people would never let them take it.
Okay.
People had to be out of it.
Oh, what are they taking? Like a nuke or something. Where are we? I see. We're not talking about like value in terms of like cost or power. We're talking about sentimental value. They're just stealing babies. Gonna murder a bunch of babies or some shit. Oh, god damn it!
It's Willow. She wants you real bad.
Uh-huh.
This demon eats babies or whatever.
The tribute to Lurkonis is made every 30 years.
Okay.
Lurkonis eats babies.
Okay, yeah, it does just eat babies. Sure. They just took that. What did you want to do with that?
She says she never saw who took them. Dozy cow.
This is so fun to see.
Let's find the demon and kick the crap out of it.
Is that what happens now?
Yeah, if we knew where they were.
Laconis dwells beneath the city, filth to filth.
You remember that?
Ooh, I know this. And we'll find it, in the sewers.
Good. You go to that thing with the demon, and I'll stay here in case the babies, find their way back.
I'm a coward. That's my card.
If you want to splash around in the poo, you're the filthy one.
Okay, you know what? Everybody just stop it. Okay, listen to me. I need help. Okay, Giles, I need grown-ups. These children are gonna die if we don't act now, okay, and think clearly. There is no room for mistakes.
Stop acting like children. I need you all to be responsible adults.
We'll behave. Good.
Aw.
Giles, we're going to the sewers. And don't do that.
I wouldn't be entirely against the idea of this continuing after, like the weird romance things that there's the two of them continuing after the curse is over or whatever. I don't necessarily want it, but I wouldn't be super against it. That would be fun to explore. Man, part of me kind of wishes that this ritual actually does go through and they just kill a bunch of babies. Just because it would be kind of funny. I'll explain later why. Out of context, that sounds really bad.
Yeah.
It's like Torchwood. I like Torchwood. I enjoy Torchwood a lot. So the mayor just wants to sacrifice babies for like a demon or whatever. It's just like 4 babies though. It's not a lot. That's gonna fight. Yeah. Ripper. Sure. Does that summon the demon or whatever? Oh, hey!
Just gotta see what you got.
Just tell me when it hurts.
Okay, boss fight. Oh, that's bad. We need to rescue him. Or kill Lurkonis, that works too. Is it gonna... Yeah, it's gonna burn it. Just fucking die. Set it ablaze. You know that CGI looks real bad, but I don't mind that.
There's hard times ahead.
Sure.
Can we go home now?
I'm tired and I'm scared.
I've got the SATs tomorrow.
Oh, blow them off. I'll write you a note.
I hope everyone remembers what happened. Well, I'm sure everyone's gonna rationalize it as like it was a weird dream or whatever.
Where's the downside? You just got yourself one less demon you have to pay tribute to. It was, the way I see it, I did you a favor.
That's true. We don't have to pay a tribute to that demon anymore.
future, I'd be very careful how many favors you do for me.
What is this mayor? What can he do? Is he Satan?
But you had some fun Friday night. Have you come down yet?
That's Principal Snyder.
Okay, I think he remembers.
There's just too much to deal with. It's like nothing made sense anymore. The things that I thought I understood were gone. I felt so alone.
Is that the math or the verbal?
Mostly the math.
That's funny.
At least I got to the two of you before you actually did something.
Oh god. Oh god.
Yes.
Okay. Oh lord. That was not before. They fucked. Giles and Joyce fucked. This happened. This was a thing. Okay, so clearly that probably did happen between the night where they were telling Buffy, hey, stop going outside and shit, and then the next day when everyone was missing and they were all just jovial already. So it was clearly that night between those 2 days probably when it happened. That or they banged on top of the police car. That's also a possibility, I think. Anyway, so sure, that's just the thing. That's just the thing. I just have to address it. I don't know where that's gonna go or if it's gonna go anywhere because it potentially could lead nowhere. That could just be a funny ending to that episode, you know? Buffy is like, I'm glad you guys didn't do anything, and they're like, yes, nothing did happen. Anyway, credits roll. But it could be a threat that is being followed through. What are the potential consequences of that? They actually do start having a romantic relationship. Giles becomes Buffy's stepdad. That's a possibility. Buffy gets a brother or sister. That's also a possibility. We'll have to wait until next season in order to see it. I guess that's really the only things I can think about immediately. I think it's mostly potentially just like nothing. I see it as like nothing because that's just a funny ending to an episode. This might become something, but right now I don't think I should think about it too hard, besides what I just said. If at one point we get an actual confirmation that there's a relationship developing, then sure, I'll talk about it then, but for now, okay, that was that. This episode was weird, and it was good. I kind of like that. It reminded me a lot of the Halloween episode. Man, Ethan is such a fun character to have in a story, and he's not even like a personality in this episode. He does have a good personality, but in this episode he wasn't much of a thing. He was more of a plot convenience thing that caused everything to happen. But I do like that. I do like that he's like an agent of chaos, and every time he shows up, like, things just go wild every time, and it's great. Okay, so the point of the episode was very clear here, when it was essentially just like, hey, Buffy is acting like a child, and she is like, but I want to do all of these things. And in some ways she's justified in saying like, hey, you're asking a lot of me, you know. And also she's not telling them about the angel thing, which I think she should, but sure, she doesn't wanna. So in their eyes, in Giles and Joyce's eyes, they see Buffy as, you know, she's just being a rebellious teenager, when in reality Buffy's dealing with a lot of things, and it would be nice if they would be understanding of it, but also Buffy doesn't want to share. So, but then what this episode does is, what if we just grab that dynamic and just flip it, where now Giles and Joyce are the characters who are being incredibly immature, and Buffy is the one that is essentially acting as a parent or a mature figure that is just telling them, hey, y'all need to stop doing this shit. And it was the most clear whenever it was like comedically clear. It was like laughably clear when Joyce was just like, Buffy, I don't want to go home. I want to eat candy. And I'm just like, oh my god. Okay, there we go. That's the funny part. That's it. There we go. There it is. That's the most obvious way to say it. But yes. But I did enjoy seeing all of these actors play their characters out of character. But you also get to see, like, this is why it's a fun concept to me. I like seeing the idea of like adults, but when they were younger. And in this instance, it's not like physically younger, but it is like mentally younger. And it's essentially their teenage selves, what that was like. And you get a character like Giles, who was an incredibly different person before he got to see all of the shit that he did and cause all of the shit that he did. And then he regretted it, he felt guilty about it, and he turned his whole life around. As a young man, he's an incredibly different person. And even Joyce here. Like, Joyce is like a mom, but now that she's a teenager again, she's incredibly like uncaring about a lot of things, right? Which, to be fair, Joyce is the kind of character that I can imagine that when she was younger she was very easygoing, right? I feel like Joyce is that kind of person. So I can see this being teenage Joyce. But I really like near the end when essentially they're talking about, we gotta go and save these babies. Again, this is like again, super on the nose again, when it's like, these adults, we gotta save the babies, and the adults are like, I don't want to save the babies, I don't care about the babies. And Buffy is like, y'all need to grow the fuck up, we're gonna save these goddamn babies. But I like that Buffy's the one that said that, and she said it to Giles and Joyce and Snyder, and essentially because we get to see how they didn't want to commit to that. Like, Giles was just talking about like, fucking let's go punch him or whatever. He's not focusing on the task at hand, which is rescuing the babies. Joyce is just someone that wants to run away. Joyce is someone who's like, I don't like seeing this is bad. And it's like, okay, sure, but we gotta save the babies though. And Snyder is the kind of a guy who, this is funny because I thought he was being a coward, and Giles also thought that, but then he was like, no, I just don't want to get in the sewers, that's dirty. So sure, I believe that. Snyder's the kind of guy who, like, he just doesn't want to get, like, filthy like that. So he's like, oh, that's gross, I don't want to go in there. You know, like, I hope you all rescue those babies or whatever, but I'm not gonna go in there. So, and Buffy just started yelling, just like, y'all need to fucking calm the fuck down. Y'all need to get your head straight. Fucking grow up. There's lives at risk here. Babies are gonna die if y'all don't get your shit together. And again, this was the episode where Buffy was the mature one. Buffy was the adult, which is a fun flip on the characters that we already knew and had established with Giles and Joyce and every other adult, Snyder too. I loved seeing Snyder just being a fun teenager and just tagging along with them. That was really good. And knowing that they kept their memories is also really good, because it means that Snyder remembers all of that shit. So that's good. I like knowing that. He hates it, but I like it. But okay, so something I was thinking about in this episode, and I can see this becoming a thing for this season and maybe just onwards onto the show, is that I can see this becoming more of a, it's been 0 days since I brought up JoJo. It could be a thing where it's making me, I was having this idea as I was watching this episode when the mayor was telling Mr. Trick, hey, I need you to do this one thing. And Mr. Trick is like, yeah, I know a guy, so I'm just gonna get that guy to do a thing. And in my head, I was thinking, are we gonna send just some guy to go after our main cast? And that's not really what we did, but it was something similar to what we did. But even in previous episodes, we did that with the Slayer Fest. We just sent a bunch of assassins to try to get the Slayer. And this is something I'm starting to think that would be a fun approach for this formula, which is the Villain of the Week formula. We just have the mayor and Mr. Trick just like do shit, but it's not them themselves doing it. It's them talking about, okay, we gotta do this. I'm gonna call this guy that I know, and I'm gonna hire this character to go after the main cast or whatever. Or not to go after the main cast, to cause trouble, because we need that in order to accomplish the other thing. And the reason why I consider that a good idea is because previously, in the Monster of the Week episodes we've had, it was just really, we come across something weird, and some episodes were really good about it because it was just a fun concept to explore, and also it makes the town feel weirder, which I appreciate. But sometimes it's just like, hey, we just got a monster. We just got a dude in a serpent costume who just came in. But I do like the idea of we might be getting Monster of the Week. But what we're gonna do is that every monster is actually gonna be directly sent by the actual villains of the season, which might be the mayor and Mr. Trick. I'm not sure to what degree, like things could change as the season progresses, but I do like the idea of them like sending people to do stuff, and we deal with those like minions, but we can clearly see that this guy is connected to like the main plot in a way. Not plot, but the main players, I guess. So that makes it feel better. And once again, I mentioned JoJo because this happens in JoJo a lot, actually. The main antagonist will send a lot of other minor antagonists to deal with, but they're all directly connected to the main guy that we're after. And I'm not saying that we are going to do that every episode, but if we started doing episodes like this, and again, like even previous week we had the Gorch brother or whatever, the Texan vampire, and then this episode we got Ethan. I like this idea of just bringing whatever antagonists or characters we have into a new conflict that is just basically the main evil guy saying, hey, I need you to do something for me, and then we just do that, right? The problem is that we don't have a lot of like bad guys that escape, you know? Like, okay, we have Spike and Drusilla, they still need to come back, but we can't just keep using Ethan or whatever. I mean, we could, but it would get old real fast. Or we just go back to the old formula. But I just like seeing the mayor and Mr. Trick talking and just being like, yep, this is something we want to do. So we learned that the mayor is really into this occult and supernatural shit. I'm not sure what he can do because there is an implication that he can do stuff. He practically threatened Mr. Trick at the end of the episode because Mr. Trick was like, hey, I did you a favor, and then he was like, you might want to watch out about the amount of favors you do for me. So he basically threatened him, and you do that usually when you have power in order to threaten someone. So now I'm thinking exactly what can he do, and we really won't know until like later, I don't think. Like, this is something that's gonna be a reveal later, but right now I'm just like, okay, that's all I can tell. He's into this weird shit, and maybe he has power, more than political power. I mean, like actual power. So we'll see what that is. But I do like this dynamic between these two like bad guys. I almost feel like this is just a prediction I'm just gonna throw out. We're gonna defeat the mayor, and Mr. Trick is gonna be the actual real, the baddest bad guy for this season. Because even though the mayor is the one that's more mysterious and is also calling the shots here, I feel like I feel the same way that I felt about Kakistos or whatever his name was when Mr. Trick showed up with that Kakistos guy, which is Kakistos was the big bad. And then I had this feeling of, yeah, but this Mr. Trick guy, he has a much better personality. And then at the end of the episode, it was like, yes, he has a better personality because he's just a character we're gonna keep. And we just get rid of Kakistos or whatever. Like, we say he's really powerful, but realistically, he's just a monster of the week. We didn't see Fate at all this episode. I just realized that. But anyway, I got the same feeling here. The mayor could just be another just character that quote unquote matters, but we're just gonna take care of him relatively easily, or not easily, but sooner than we might think. And Mr. Trick is gonna be the actual guy that keeps slipping away. He just keeps getting himself out of reach, and he keeps being a problem for all of us. Because honestly, he just has such a cool personality compared to the mayor or whatever. I just like Mr. Trick. I think he's a fun character. So we'll see where that goes. I do like that they just brought in Ethan. I like that last episode they brought in the Gorch brother that remained, I guess. But I'm excited to see that in the future they might continue to do that. Like, maybe not necessarily every episode or every time, but just I like seeing them actually do something in the episode. Even if it's an episode that just has a trouble that doesn't really have lasting consequences. episodes that just start and get resolved usually don't have the main players involved. I like having them being involved. That's what I'm saying. Yo, I want them to resurrect the Master. I'm just waiting for the Master to come back because I just really like that character. Like, season 1 was so wonderfully similar to Power Rangers. I do want to get the Master back because that guy was very theatrical and I really enjoyed his performance. So I do kind of want them to just bring him back for like one episode or something. Like resurrect him. I don't know why, through like some weird ritual or something. That would be fun. We still have Spike and Drew left. They should come back at some point. Angel was doing no, it's not it's Tai Chi. He was doing Tai Chi, I'm pretty sure that's what it was. Okay, let me skim through the episode to see what I can talk about. I like that I immediately just called, yeah, this candy's bad. Because it was so obvious to me. It literally from like minute 4, Snyder is giving away candy and it's like, okay, you gotta give this candy to people. And I'm like, that candy's bad. That candy's gonna do some shit this episode, I'm telling you right now. I could not have foreseen what it would do, but it did do stuff. Oh yeah, we have the Sander and Willow thing still being a thing this episode. That started previous week, I forgot about it, not gonna lie. And then this episode I was like, oh yeah, that did happen. So they're doing this thing with their feet where they're like keep like intertwining them. And at one shot you could see that it formed like a heart, like an inverted heart. That was kind of cute. I like seeing that. I wonder if that was deliberate, and if it was, then good. It looked cool. The way I feel about the relationship, it's still like mixed because I kind of expressed my thoughts last week. I'm like, I can't say anything about this other than I feel bad for Cordelia and Oz because I am just waiting to see where the show wants to take this, what direction is gonna go into. But the way I feel about it is just like, God damn it again. Because the way this show kind of works is that everyone like has a weird sudden impulse to be in a relationship with a person, and then like 7 episodes later they have the same thing for a different person. And if we're talking realistically, then you're not really interested in a lot of these people. Because it's just you exploring what life as a teenager is, you know, what you think are emotions that are blasting, or what you think that are emotions that mean stuff, but you don't actually quite got the hang of things yet. So following that logic, then we can't really say that like, well, Sander like found his soulmate in Cordelia and now he's being a piece of shit. We can't say that. But the part where they need to talk about stuff is that it's very obvious that both of them are into each other and they should tell their friends, because this is not a good thing to do. But it's also realistic, the fact that they feel ashamed and they're just literally trying to beat down their emotions and be like, no, stop. I am loyal to my partner and I don't want to do this, and yet you can shut off your feelings. So it's this thing where like they don't understand that part of it, so they're continuing to do this song and dance where they're not sure what to do. Being a teenager is confusion. I still think they should just tell their friends. Like, so many things are just communication. There's no communication here. There's a lot of denial and not wanting to share things. It would cause discord amongst the group, but it's better than just continuing to let this problem fester until some shit happens. And it's gonna be real bad whenever it does, if they kept it secret for as long as they might. So yes, I have no idea where this is gonna go. I can't really say much about it. I can only give you my thoughts on it as an adult person who has had to deal with emotions in the past, and what they could do and should do. But at the end, I have no fucking clue where the show is gonna go. So we'll see what they write for the inevitably episode where this is gonna become super relevant and front center. Okay, the baby thing. let's talk about the baby thing. I said during the episode at one point that I hope that all those babies get fucking killed because it would be funny. I need to explain because, okay, if you have the same sense of humor that I do, then I don't need to explain this because this is pretty straightforward. But if you don't, then okay. Y'all didn't watch Torchwood with me. Well, in Buffy season 1, I was the same. I was like, yeah, fucking kill that kid, the anointed one or whatever, and they did, and it was funny. But yeah, babies is like the extra step of that. It's even funnier because I like the idea of a show that's just like, yeah, fuck it, just kill the babies. Because babies and children are considered to be this like very like almost sacred creatures that must be protected because they are innocent and pure, and you need to show them the world and you need to protect them and all that stuff. That's how they are portrayed in media, because they're also portrayed that way in real life, and it's like, okay, that makes sense. I do like a piece of media that's just like, fuck it, we're just gonna kill all of them, because that's hilarious to me. Torchwood did that, and I liked it for it. I liked that Torchwood tortured all of the children, because it was funny to see it as the show that just said, fuck them kids. The Michael Jordan fuck them kids meme is a really funny meme, because also I kind of relate. Like, if I was playing against like a 7-year-old in like a fighting game, if I was playing Guilty Gear Strive against like the 7-year-old kid, I would be doing Red Roman cancel combos on this bitch and just destroying the fuck out of this kid. And this kid, I don't care if he would be crying, I'll be like, that's tough luck, kid. Like, you need to get fucking better at the game. It's your fucking fault for wanting to play me at Guilty Gear. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make here is that I'm disappointed that the babies didn't die, because I thought that would have been funny. They probably wouldn't have treated it as funny. They probably would have just treated it as like, oh my god, this is super tragic, which is the correct thing to do. I wouldn't be disappointed in that. But I just like the idea of just a writer saying, yeah, and then all the children die, and then all the babies get murdered. They get eaten. All of the babies get eaten. That line, just visualizing that line in written text, all of the babies get eaten. It's really funny. It's really funny to me. I'm sorry. This is just my sense of humor. Okay. Anyway, that was the baby segue. I don't know what else to talk about. Speaking about babies, they fought. Maybe, I don't know. I just saw the shot of the police car, and that's probably when they fought. Like, that shot was pretty good, of them just laying on that police car. So maybe they just fought like right there in the middle of the street. I believe that, really, I do. But what else happened this episode? I'm like a little bit disappointed that we didn't get a lot of interaction between like Ripper and Ethan, because there should be. We got a little bit of it where Ripper was just like, fuck this guy, and then at one point Ethan just wanted to like get Buffy with like a crowbar, and then he just fucking put a gun to his fucking throat, just like, don't you fucking move, and you're like, all right, never mind, didn't do anything. So that was fun, but I wish we could have had like actual dialogue between the two of them, but it was just mostly Buffy. I think this is a missed opportunity, because when else are we gonna see Giles acting like his past self talking to Ethan? Like, that's something I thought was really cool. Anyway, so what else should I talk about? I mean, I already mentioned, like, the main thing about this episode is how cool it is to see all of these grown-up, mature characters acting like they are not. But also, like, the reason why I like that concept is also because, like, I am 26. I am, like, in the middle of those two, like, phases of life, you know? Because, like, 10 years ago, I was 16. In 10 years, I'll be 36. I already feel old, like, because I already feel so disconnected from the person that I was 10 years ago. But that's probably still gonna be the case 10 years from now. I mean, maybe you feel even like the most amount of disconnect from your teenage self, because I feel like teenage years is such a like hectic time of life. So maybe I wouldn't feel as disconnected like 10 years from now as I do right now looking back 10 years ago, entirely because, and like this is just what I've heard. I think your 30s are just when you, like, things just settle, because like your 20s is essentially just dealing with your shit, because being a teenager is a lot of shit, and then your 20s is like, all right, we have to try and figure how to make this work. And then your 30s is when you finally got that shit down and you're like, okay, I can be a person now. That's at least my understanding of it. Like grabbing from people that I know that have commented on things, and also just how I feel. But also my life is like weird. Like I lived a weird life. So it's difficult to tell how like my life is looking back and how it's gonna be in the future. But regardless, to me, I like this concept of, imagine you're 50 years old, and people watching this video can be 50, like maybe a bit younger, maybe a bit older. Imagine what it was like to be 16, and imagine that that's now your default, right? Like your conscious, your thoughts, everything that you were back then, as you remember it, that's now your default. That's who you are now. Like, for some reason, you can't stop thinking exactly the same way you thought about at that stage of your life. And the reason why it's interesting is because they didn't lose their memories. They were very much aware of who Buffy was and stuff. What changed is how they acted, like how their immediate emotions were and what things they wanted to do. It's like their state of mind in the present is what changed, not their memories or anything like that. So the closest thing that I can be like, it's funny, I'm gonna compare this a little bit to Chainsaw Man. If y'all are not watching Chainsaw Man, I think it's one of the best shows I've seen. It's fantastic. The closest thing I can compare it to is like, imagine if you were an adult, but you didn't get the chance to develop as an adult, right? This kind of happens in Chainsaw Man, where you have characters who are teenagers, but they are like 5 years old because they never got a chance to develop as a normal person would. In this episode of Buffy, it's like, imagine you have a bunch of adults, but they are not adults. But they know everything. They remember things. They didn't just lose the time. They didn't lose their memories. It's just that their state of mind is so immature. But the way you get to immature is by not living experiences, which is what memories are, which they do have. So it's weird how that works, but it's a magic spell, like whatever. I'm not saying that it doesn't make sense. I'm saying that it's an interesting concept to explore. And I do like that this is exactly the way it worked. Anyway, beyond that, I just like seeing the actors act in a different manner. Like, they are acting as themselves, but like a version of themselves that we never seen before. We got to see, like, again, the actors for Giles and Joyce and pretty much everyone else. Snyder. I love the Snyder in this episode. He was fucking funny. But like, I just love seeing a bunch of old people acting as if they were 20. That's just great. Even younger. Like, that's fantastic. And I also like kind of vibe with it because I'm not like the kind of person that creates a hard divide between being an adult and being a kid, like a teenager or whatever. I don't really do that. And there's clear differences because your brain is different and the experiences you live through are different and stuff. But my case is weird in what my life was, so I didn't get to develop properly. So that puts me in this position where when it comes to a lot of things, I do feel like a child. But when it comes to a lot of other different things, I feel like very clearly an adult. And this might just be a normal thing, but like whenever I look at like literally anyone else I can talk to, is people I can't relate to. But for me, I'm like, if every adult just wanted to act the way they acted in this episode, I wouldn't mind that. Like, some people look at it and they are like, oh my god, that's crazy, but I legitimately would not mind that. I think that in society you see a lot this like idea that like you have to kind of give up all of your like your innocence and fun and like impulsiveness and a lot of all of those traits when you become an adult. And the thing is that, like, yes, like, being immature is a thing. And ideally, you want to keep your head straight in order to, like, save the babies, right? Like in this episode. But I don't think it's a bad thing that just a bunch of old people just decide to have fun one day. Or every day, really. I think that everyone in their 50s should just be cringe as fuck. I think everybody should just be cringe as fuck and show all of their, like, things that make them feel joy, right? If someone is really into, like, the Grateful Dead at their 50s and they're like, dude, this shit slaps, then fucking go for it, man, right? If you're super into this, like, very specific, like, show or, like, movie or whatever, or anything that just, or, like, I don't know, a weird hobby, like, if you're really into, like, the model train stuff, like, fucking go for it, man. If you're really into building Gunpla or whatever, like, that's great, go for it, man. I don't care, you're sexy, you're my homie. Like, that's the thing, is that I enjoy seeing old people who are also just, like, fucking cringe, that they act exactly the same way that a 20-year-old would act. I like that, actually, because having life experiences shouldn't take away from, like, things that is just your genuine emotions. I don't think it should be that way. And I think that a lot of, like, modern society does take that away from people because it's, like, not proper or whatever. I hate that. I refuse to participate in society. Anyway, that's just gonna be my closing note here. I don't know what else to say about this episode. Maybe there's more stuff to say. I don't remember it. I didn't tell y'all this, but I didn't sleep at all yesterday. I woke up at 8 p.m. yesterday because my schedules are fucked up. It is noon of the next day. I am starving. I'm gonna go get myself some food and then pass the fuck out. Anyway, see you guys next time. Take care, everybody. Alright, everyone, thank you so much for watching this reaction episode to Buffy the Vampire Slayer. If you would like to watch the next 2 episode reactions, you can already do so over at the Patreon. Check out the link in the description below, social media, all sorts of cool stuff that I do. I'll see you guys next time. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.